I beg to appear for the petitioner. As per the office report, service is completed.
We can transfer that. The 6 filed as well.
Yes, my lords. And the distance is around 680 kilometers.
680. You wanted to be transferred from Dharwad to the
Dharwad,
family
Karnataka
court
to
at
Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu.
Right. We'll allow the petition.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 2.
Much obliged.
You want to be transferred from the principal court, family court at Satna to Allahabad, 200, the 2-year-old daughter as well.
Yes, my lord, I am petitioner. Why?
Nobody's appearing. Should be transferred?
Because I am appearing for the respondent, my lord.
Yes. You are appearing, Mr. Pandey, online?
My lord, I am appearing for the respondent wife, my lord.
Yes. Yes,
My
Mr.
lord, I have a prayer that since both the husband and wife have filed a divorce petition at their respective places, my lord, if may I request for mediation, my lord, because the parties have stayed together only for a period of 3 months, my lord, and thereafter they have separated. And both have filed a divorce petition, so my lord.
Why don't we do this? We can transfer it to Allahabad and request the family court at Allahabad to make all efforts for mediation at Allahabad.
My lord, mediation was tried before the courts in Allahabad, my lord, in the 125 proceedings. However, it failed, my lord. Therefore, I am requesting that if it could be taken up at this court only, my lord.
My lord, nothing is remained. 2 petition is pending between the parties at Allahabad and
So
both petitioners.
why don't we refer it to the Supreme Court Mediation Center?
Yes, my lord. I have no
The
objection.
parties may appear before the Supreme Court Mediation Center
Yes.
in virtual mode, and
Yes.
we'll keep it in the second week of July here. In the meantime, if they settle it, so much the better.
Ma'am.
Learned Counsel appearing on behalf of the contesting parties have agreed to explore the possibility of a mediated solution to the dispute, the matrimonial dispute. Full stop. Parties shall accordingly appear before the Supreme Court Mediation Center at 2 p.m. on
After 2 p.m.
at 2 p.m.
After 2 p.m.
After 2 p.m. may mean even midnight, right? So we'll say 2 p.m.
2 to 4.
Right, 2 p.m. But on which date?
Any Friday, my lord.
Mr. Pandey, which date?
My lord, we are comfortable with any of the date which is being given by your lordships and which is convenient to the petitioner.
Next Friday.
My lord.
Initially in the virtual mode. Thereafter, they shall abide by such directions as may be issued by the mediator for physical presence.
Please.
My lord.
List on. That could be put.
Item 3.
May I please, Lordship, I am in this matter for the respondent, and my instructions on the clients are that it may be settled in mediation, Your Lordship, so.
I have no objection, my lords. Even I have instructions that matter may be
So
referred to
then,
mediation.
same order as the previous
Yes,
matter.
yes.
Next Friday, they'll appear before the mediation center of this court.
Yes, ma'am. My lords, it can be on Thursday because.
Thursday, sure.
Thursday. Anytime, my
Next
lords.
Thursday, parties will appear before the mediation
In
center.
hybrid mode, Your Lordship, so
Yes.
that if the
We
party.
have said presently in the virtual mode.
Please,
Thereafter, they may appear physically, but at least the first hearing, because we are keeping it after 1 week.
please, Your Lordship.
All right?
So I have not filed my counter also, so that my clients, please, Your Lordship.
Better not to file your counter right
Please.
now. Let the mediation start.
What is the date, Your
Next Thursday.
next Thursday?
And
2
we keep
p.m.
it in the second week of July so that we'll have the mediation report in the meantime.
Much obliged, Your Lordship.
Item 4
Your lordship, as per the office report, the service of notice is completed on the respondent, but no one has entered.
is from Hardwar to Kanpur, right?
Yes.
We'll transfer this.
Item 5.
This is from the family court at, there's a 6-month-old infant. Who's for the respondent?
The respondent, lords.
Who's here for the respondent? We'll transfer this from
I would
Hardwar to
request
Kanpur.
for mediation, lords.
Let's try mediation.
Because
We'll
the
try
baby is
mediation
really
once.
small and difficult for her to come out right.
Because they have already been requesting for transfer to Delhi.
6-month-old infant, she's saying now for her to come with the infant here for mediation is also difficult. Should we transfer it to Kanpur? There's from Lucknow to the
Lucknow to
Tisari.
Delhi only.
And we'll say mediation in Tisari.
Yes, Your Lordship.
That's much better.
Yes, Your Lordship.
So, and last sentence may mediation before the Tisari course lecture.
Much obliged, Your Lordship.
So with that, we come to an end of the ceremonial bench. Before we request all of you to say a few words, Mr. Sybil, on behalf of us all, heartiest congratulations on your being elected as the president of the SCBA. We look forward to your cooperation and the members of the executive committee.
It's my honor, in fact, that after 22 years, I've been given the opportunity to serve the bar. And from our side, you will have complete cooperation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And that's our commitment to the bench, because it's through this cooperation that we can take the agenda, the nation forward. Thank you very much.
Mr. Attorney General, would you like to say a few words?
Coming from one of the most beautiful parts of our country, Coorg, and from beauty comes sweetness. I was just trying to recollect an event soon after my lord's appointment. I had gone to a place called Talakaveri, which is very near lordship's birthplace. The temple, I went there, and the head of the temple asked me, knowing that I'm practicing here, you know Justice Bopanna? I said, certainly, he's one of the most dwells in the court. So I got a VIP treatment in the temple immediately. Courtesy just so. I remember how the impact on people, common men like him, I can understand what the judge in the High Court would have had. And I tried to recollect, on a very small event, a lot of things I can say about the sweetness. I've tried to reserve it for the evening SCPA function. One of my juniors, sometime last November or so, just Bopanna, the court had almost risen, waiting for the counsel to come. I think Aishwarya Bhatti was to appear. No one was in the court. She came rushing into the court. Just Bopanna was about to leave, almost leaving the court. So I believe he saw her rushing in, and he said, "You have the power to hold the court on. I'm coming back and to do justice." What a beautiful gesture on his part. She says such something. I felt so happy about it. I think that's the way the court, encourages people like us to feel very, very beautiful and part of this great institution. I thought I'll tell her that I will narrate the incident in the court, that she also feels very good about it. There are a lot of things to say about this Bopanna, sir. I'll reserve it for the evening. And I've also penned something in Kannada for the evening function.
Oh. So then I have to match up.
That's
Mr. Solicitor General.
Lords, we would miss your lordships, especially your lordship's very cool and calm demeanor in the court. But most, my lord, importantly, my lord, we have on this side, my lord, always experienced a very subtle sense of humor, which your lordships have always exhibited. But that would always be missed. While even in the midst of a very seriously or hotly contested matter, your lordship's humor used to play the role of a calming, my lord, presence, my lord. Lord, I wish your lordships a very successful next inning, my lord, and more particularly, a very healthy life, my lord, and a long life. Thank you.
Mr. Sibbal.
Thank you, Chief Justice. What can I say? I must share with you something that happens to us every evening while you were on the bench. Because when a matter comes up, we ask which bench is it? And when we hear it is before Justice Bopanna's bench, we heave a sigh of relief.
Blood pressure depends upon that.
The reason, I give you the reason. You epitomize serenity, the serenity of the ocean and the depth of your generosity. I've always felt that coming in your court. And I've never gone away disappointed whether I win a case or lose a case. Hear us with exemplary patience. Never get swayed by what we do in court occasionally. But that's the beauty of the law. And we believe that it is this that gives us the confidence that this court is the court where we will get justice. Thank you very much for being what you are. All the best for the future, because what you did here will remain with us for many, many years. Thank you.
Mohana.
To say that, Lord, it's always been a pleasure on behalf of the entire Women Bar and others as well, my Lord. I'm expressing the sentiments that whenever we got an opportunity, like Mr. Sibbal would say correctly, but we always look forward to appear in that forum, Lord. And junior, senior, it doesn't matter. Whoever wanted to say anything, without modulation of the voice from the beginning till the end. Your Lordship will observe entire proceedings and then pass orders equally. And with the same kind of equanimity, he'll be passing all the orders. The juniors also felt very, very comfortable in appearing your Lordship's court. They feel so comfortable, and also, they feel so encouraged to come and appear before your Lordships. For the brief spell that your Lordships were not holding the court, we would go around the courtroom and then see when your Lordships will be returning after that. So there was an indirect prayer for your Lordships to return soon. So we also hope and pray that your Lordships have a very healthy and a peaceful return life.
Thank you. Mr. Hegde.
Lords, I rise with the rest of the bar to pay tribute to my Lord Justice Bopanna's career here. My Lord comes from a small district of my state, but that district has produced so many great leaders. The first chief, the Army Chief, Justice Field Marshal Cariappa, General Thimmaiya, and that people from that part, it took a long time for Justice Bopanna to make it to this court, and he has shown us the beauty of not only court, but of the state of Karnataka in his classic delivery, in the way that he has conducted the court. We are all very grateful for his courtesy, for his even demeanor, and we wish him a long and happy retirement, my lords, and a healthy retirement. Thank you very much for your service.
Mr. Noy.
Everybody else seems to have said what I wanted to say, but the only thought that came to my mind was, if one asks a question, who is an ideal judge? I think the first person in my mind would be Justice Bopanna. He's so calm in the court, and he has a very good sense of humor. And while appearing before him, I have seen there will be a very good joke cracked, and it has been a wonderful experience appearing before you. And even for us, we used to be thrilled when our matters were going to be listed before him. And your Lordships, we missed you for those months. Even for us, it's a great loss, those 6 months. But we wish you all the very best and a very, very healthy life ahead, your Lordships.
Thank you. Thank you, Guruswamy.
Justice Bopanna, being in your court felt like feeling the sunshine on a cold winter's day. For your serenity, as Mr. Sibal said, your legal acumen, your affability, and your humor. I always walked out of your court, irrespective of whether I got a favorable or unfavorable order, smiling. So for being that sunshine, thank you. Wishing you much laughter in your next innings. Wishing you good health. And I hope you'll entertain us once in a while over a cup of tea, because I personally would love to feel that sunshine once in a while. Wishing you all the best, sir.
Mr. Dave.
Lords, this is not about the appearances in court. There was an unofficial poll that was conducted in the Supreme Court as who's the most popular, good-looking, calm, intelligent judge. And I'm sorry, I don't mean any disrespect to your Lordship. If the proportion of the population...
If you said something about us, we would be thinking, which matter does Mr. Dave have on court today?
If the proportion of that population to the popularity of Justice Bopanna, who led, like Mr. Sibal yesterday, my lords, it's more than Amitabh Bachchan, Shah Rukh Khan, and I don't want to be discriminating against the southern states, my lords. So all the people, my lords, I would only request Justice Bopanna, if he can, just walk in the corridor today, being the last day, come for a cup of coffee to the canteen, and please assess the popularity that your Lordships have amongst the member of the bar. I would like to thank your Lordships for coming to this court and enriching all of us. Oblige.
Nicest judge you have witnessed in the Supreme Court.
Mr. Vaidyanathan.
The collegium that look for an ideal model for selection of a judge, that we have always found it a pleasurable experience to appear. No stress, no tension. And then I think whether it is junior or senior, everyone has had a very patient hearing, but at the same time, no beating around the bush and very firm and decisive judge. And that's what I'm very, very.
Lord, Mr. Hansaria.
The Attorney General said, my Lord Justice Bopanna comes from beautiful part of the country, my Lord. My Lord Justice Bopanna has been the Chief Justice of another beautiful part of the country, my Lord. And Guwahati High Court Bar always remembers your Lordship, Lord, with great benevolence, with great respect, my Lord. And none of the members of the bar has gone with a sense of dissatisfaction, whether you will lose, as Mr. Sibal has said, my Lord. All of us has gone out, the members of the bar, even the litigant public, my Lord, because now they watch the proceedings. And we are extremely grateful for your Lordship, Lord, to keep the apply this code of hanging.
Mr. Agarwala, you want?
My Lord, on behalf of SCBA, I can safely say that Justice Bopanna has been kind to every member of the bar. And we will always miss him. We will always, but invite him to see his, and I have congratulated, as Lordship has congratulated Mr. Sibbal. I also went to his house last night. I was the first to congratulate him and garland him.
Before I request Bopanna to say a few words.
On behalf of SCORA, to only say that the first judge from Kurk to occupy such a high post, as Mr. Hegde had said, two wartime generals from Kurk and a man of peace in Supreme Court. And his weapon was his gentle smile. And they were in his court, it was like Buddha's garden. Nobody was raising voices. There were no raised pitches. And both parties came satisfied. All I say, my Lordship has expressed his view that he would go back to the hills. And whenever you have your morning's filter coffee, please remember Delhi, please come to the Yamuna. We all need you as a mediator and arbitrator in Delhi. Best of health and best of happiness.
Thank you. Your
Lordship.
Somebody online?
Yes, Lordship. On behalf of Supreme Court Bar Association, as a secretary, I must tell you, Lordship, about Justice Bopanna. In lawyer's corridor.
Rohit, why don't you unmute yourself on the video as well?
1 second, Lordship. I'm so sorry. There is a problem.
Okay, you can say what you have to say. No problem.
But I must tell you about Justice Bopanna. In lawyer's corridor, here everybody is talking and saying that Justice Bopanna is so sweet. So we will miss you, Lordship, and wishing you for your good health and best wishes to your new journey, Lordship. Thank you.
Before I request Brother Bopanna to say a few words, and while reserving my appetite for a more detailed presentation this evening, I would just like to say that Brother Bopanna is not just a great gentleman, a compassionate judge, but he's above all a good human being. And I think that is the heart of good judging. Just to give you one example, in one of those transfer petitions which are typically listed before the ceremonial bench, there was a little resistance on the part of the respondent to do a mediation in Delhi. And prima facie, I also thought that we can ask the parties to mediate before the transferee High Court. But I don't take a decision on any matter before I consult both my judges, and in this case, all three colleagues. So Brother Bopanna looked at me and said, we'll give them one opportunity to come mediate in the Supreme Court. And I immediately realized the wisdom of long experience, where Brother Bopanna felt that after all, a mediation before the Supreme Court may carry some greater weight for the parties than a mediation before the district court. So that's Justice Bopanna personified. Even when there are just 3 or 4 matters to go before he takes his final bow, he treats every matter with the same amount of diligence, dedication that he did on the first day of his appointment to the High Court. Brother Bopanna was in medical leave, all of you know, for a few months. Every time I called him up to find out how he is, he would be first concerned before telling me about how he is. He would be talking about the Constitution Bench judgment which was pending before us. and say that, Chief, I'll try and come sometime for at least a day or 2 days and we'll pronounce the bench judgment and I'll go back on leave. And I would always tell him that, look, you better get well soon. When I went to his home, his very gracious spouse, Ms. Mona Bopanna, who was here, his daughter, his son, his in-laws, they all congregated there. And we were wondering, I mean, we were there to wish him get well soon, but there he was handing out hospitality to visitors from Delhi, his colleagues from Delhi who would come and meet him during those days when he was in Bangalore. Brother Bopanna, you have been truly a stellar judge of the Supreme Court right up to your last day in the Supreme Court, and truly we'll miss you. When I offered Brother Bopanna an assignment post-retirement in one of the tribunals, because we are in need of good judges to man some very important tribunals, he looked at me and said, Chief, please liberate me from that thought and let me go back and do something else. I don't know if he really wants to go to the hills or whether he will do what he has to do, which is that he'll be in such great demand as an arbitrator, because he's known to be a judge of the highest standards of integrity, independence, competence, proficiency. So I don't think, Brother Bopanna, that the bar in Delhi is going to let you off so quickly. And we do hope that you will be part of us and continue to do good work even hereafter. And speaking for myself, we'd like you to be continued in your association with us over here. Sitting on the bench with Justice Bopanna, he would just whisper something, in the midst of a matter, and whisper it with such a great deal of understudied elegance. And that was the beauty of sitting with Justice Bopanna. He would never make a point with aggression. He would say something just in a half a sentence, which summed up perhaps that strategy for doing justice in that case. And I think, sitting on this side of the court, that means so much to the Chief Justice, because as the Chief Justice, there are 200 things going on in your mind, something administratively, but for that moment, you're focused only on that case. And having an able ally like Justice Bopanna, both as the Chief Justice and the Collegium as a senior judge, meant really a lot to me as a Chief Justice. And thank you very much, therefore, for all your cooperation and your association with the court, and for your friendship, Brother Bopanna. We wish you all the best for the future. May I now request Justice Bopanna to say a few words.
I don't know really what to say. Honorable the Chief Justice, Justice Dr. Chandrachud, colleagues on the bench, Justice Parjiwala and Justice Anuj Mishra. Learned Attorney General, Learned Solicitor General, Mr. Kapil Sibal, President-elect, President of the Bar Association, and all Learned Senior Counsel who addressed. Well, the thought now is, after probably till yesterday, day before, I thought it's only a day of retirement and then I'll be quietly retiring. But the day I was called to Torah Association, when I realized the affection, after that I'm a little emotional. Anyway, I mean, all these good things, what you have said, I don't know how much I deserve. But then when all of you were saying, quietly at the corner, I was just looking at my wife's face. She wasn't surprised, she wasn't astonished, nor did she think she's in a wrong program. So I acknowledge whatever you have said, there's a problem there. So I acknowledge what you have said. And I thank you for all the sentiments. And now I can only say thank you and goodbye. Because evening we will be probably meeting. Many of you may not be, but we will again meet, because I also know that the chief has about 81 matters in his list to complete. I will not take much time of yours. If I have been of some service to all of you, to the country, that itself is the greatest satisfaction which I carry with me. So let me thank you all once again. Goodbye to all. Until we meet again.